Hey guys, sorry it's been a while since I last did a video, but as is the usual, life etc. has been getting in the way, and to be honest, I haven't had a lot of quality time on the bench. So the Leopard is still ongoing, although it's getting near the end stages now, I'm glad to say. And hopefully I might have it finished in the next couple of weeks, we shall see. So that I shall show you in a moment, but before I do that, I don't know if any of you have noticed, but the lack of videos from Mike Cohen. Well, I found out purely by accident that he'd actually taken his channel down, and I did actually ask a fellow modeler as to the reason why, and Mike himself, and Mike has decided that he no longer wishes to continue doing the modelling on social media. So all well, and I respect Mike's wishes. I think possibly he may feel that he's achieved what he set out to do, and you know, he feels that he can't offer anything more. I would personally say that he does, but you know, it's Mike's choice, and I respect that. And I have to say, if it hadn't been for Mike, I wouldn't be doing these videos now, because it was his encouragement that spurred me on to start my channel up, to be honest with you. And he's always been a big source of support and inspiration through my hobby, as well as my brothers. And we formed a good friendship. So I'll still continue to keep in touch with Mike. I mean, he's still carrying on with his modelling, but as I say, he's now doing it purely for his own enjoyment, and all well and good to you, Mike. So, you know, all fair and well to you, my friend. I'm sure everybody's going to be the poorer for not seeing Mike's work, but you know, at the end of the day, it's Mike's hobby, it's his own wishes. You know, we've got to respect them. So there you go. I mean, his work to me has always been outstanding. He may disagree, but when you do your own work, you tend to be self-critical. But there you are. As I say, Mike's been a good source of support and inspiration to me and many others throughout the community. To me, he is what this community is all about. And I've got nothing more to say about that. I've got the utmost respect for Mike, and as I say, he's become one of my best friends in the community, and that I hope will continue to be the case. And he's still carrying on with the Warts and All group. He's still sort of keeping an eye on that, and obviously with the 1944 group build, that's still continuing with from strength to strength. Unfortunately, I had to pull out because obviously with my home situation, I don't know where I'm going to be or what I'm going to be doing. So that's still ongoing. I am finding it a little bit of a struggle to get the money together. I mean, I've put 3 of my builds up for sale on eBay, had to drop the price 3 times, and they're still not moving. And it could mean I'll have to still have some more on my stash, but we shall see. I'm getting there, but it's proving a bit of a battle. But you know, life's a bit of a battle, but I'm sure I'm going to get there. I've got a fair few months yet to get the money together and then find somewhere new to live. So there you go. But as I say, Mike, all I should say, my friend, is thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support, help and encouragement through your time on YouTube and behind the scenes. And no doubt I will still keep in touch with you, as many will. And as I say, enjoy your hobby, my friend. You know, I'm sure we all join ourselves in wishing you the best. So there you go. But as I say, I'll keep in touch with you, definitely, for sure. So there you go. Anyway, moving on from that now, I just want to run through the acquisitions I've got over the last few months. And first off, find it again because I've got to dig it out again. Bear with me. Go under my right bench, get it out. Well, John Moore recently built this, and it does look a superb kit. Is Vesda's Ferdinand tank destroyer, which, as you all well know, was developed from the Porsche Tiger itself, with the actual hull, and then they fitted a whacking great big gun on the top and used it as a tank destroyer. Admittedly, it wasn't very successful, especially at the Battle of Kursk, so a lot of the models were taken back to the factory and remodified and became the Elephant. But I mean, I've had a quick look at this kit. It does look a nice looking kit. Detail's not too bad, it's a little bit sparse. You get some link-to-link tracks on this, obviously you can re-enhance the sag. But I may well go for some aftermarket metal tracks, and then get an etch brass detail set in just to bounce it up a little bit. But yeah, it doesn't look a bad kit at all, so there you go. Anyway, in range of Tamiya, I've got a few old classics in. First off, unusual subject, as was brought to a lot of people's attention in my last Studios Back of the Bench. Again, it's another dinosaur in the dinosaur classic range, and it's the old Stegosaurus. Excuse the torn box, but this was second hand. I got it on eBay for about, what, 12 quid? And I thought it would be an ideal companion to go with my Triceratops. But again, it'll be a good exercise in painting and weathering, etc. And as I say, as a kid I used to love dinosaurs, so it sort of take me back to my childhood, as it were. There you go. Alongside that, in the Tamiya range, I've got a couple of classic figure sets, second hand, £7 each off eBay. First off is the Panzer Grenadier set. I'm not sure if this still is in production, but as you can see here, you've got tank riders and then obviously the rest of the platoon, etc. And then on the back, you've got the assembled figures, as you can see there, and a suggestion for where they can go with it. And in this case, it's on a, I think, a J or a L or H version of a Panzer IV. So there you go. Yeah, and then alongside that, I basically got this set, which is the US Army Infantry set as well. I may well use that for a Normandy campaign dio, I don't know, or maybe a latter war campaign dio. But again, as you can see on the back, the assembled figures, once they're painted up, etc., they don't half look bad actually. They look pretty good. I mean, one or two of the old sets are a bit ropey, but this looks quite a fairly decent set. So there you go. And then following that, another old classic, and I'm sure a lot of you broke your armour teeth on this, is the old Panzer II Aus FG from the North Africa Corps campaign. And again, this comes with a set of Africa Corps figures. I got the old venerable rubber tracks on, etc. I might get some aftermarket etch grills to go with it, just to bounce it up a little bit. But it'll be a good weathering exercise as well, so there you go. Next on the agenda is another old classic. I've had this before, but I've got it in again. Is the German Hanomag SDKFZ 2511. They do another version of this in the latter version, obviously with the tritonal camo. There are slight differences. I mean, this is obviously the earlier version. But again, not a bad kit. You can get an aftermarket interior set with this as well. And I've got some aftermarket tracks as well to go with this, so there you go. And it does come with a few figures. And then finally, as regards to Tamiya armour, I basically got this one, which is the M4A3 showing with a 75mm gun. Now, if you remember, I built one, must be good 2-3 years ago, featuring as though it's coming into Bastogne with the old howitzer gun on it, and it was a beautiful kit, fell together, had a similar amount of figures that go with it. Tracks weren't too bad on this actually, so they'll be easy to put on and use, and it'll be a good exercise in weathering. I could possibly do this as a Bastogne or an Ardennes one, I don't know, we'll see. And I've been told that they're actually going to issue an Asuka retool, in a Tamiya box of a M4A3 wet, or was it M4A1 wet, again with the same figures as well. So that might be one to look out for, and I think that's due for release soon. But for me, I'm quite happy with this one. So there you go. Let's pop that underneath. And moving on, this is rather a D-Day theme, and I've already done an in-box review of this particular kit. It's Hobby Boss's C47 Skytrain. Unfortunately, I can't get this all in the camera, but it looks a nice kit actually, and I've got some aftermarket decals and an aftermarket control column to go with this set. So just to give it a little bit of enhanced detail, I might do it with a diorama base, but I'm just wondering if you can get some 1/72 paratrooper figures as those are lining up to go into the aircraft. If anybody's got a link or as to who can do this, just put it in the comments column below. Thank you very much. Okay, as I say, I've done an inbox review on this, and check that one out. Right, and next on the agenda is one I've been I'm getting for a while, is this, which is Meng's LD Panther, which was one of the first versions of the Panther to go into service, again at the Battle of Kursk. It looks a lovely kit. I may well do an inbox review version on this, and it could be a build for this year, I don't know, because I think there's a 75th anniversary Panther SIG going. So depending on my events of here or where I should end up, I may well get this one built this year or possibly next year. We shall see, but it is a lovely kit. And then we're going to have a few Revell kits in the offing. One I've had in before, and it's an old classic. It's the Sheldon AW Mk1, and as it was well known, 1001,000 rivets in close and tight formation. It was a derivative from the well-known stablemate, the Arrow Lancaster, and served very faithfully for a number of years from the, I think, the mid-50s up until 1993. And it was the last piston engine aircraft to serve in the Royal Air Force's Infantry. In fact, I remember seeing one of these at the Royal International Air Tattoo at the then Greenham Common Airfield, which sadly is no more. I think it's been turned into a sort of a park, a wildlife park as it were, but it's also used as a driving test centre. Although you can still see the outline of the well-known runway, which was actually the longest runway in the whole of Europe, and it was a staging point from D-Day as well. But again, I remember back in, I think it was 1978, hearing the sort of trial tone of the older Griffin engines. It just had such a distinctive sound, and it was such a beast in the air. It really was. And it's something I certainly wouldn't forget, and it's an aircraft which is a particular favourite of mine, so there you go. It does look quite a well detailed kit, although you can get some aftermarket if you want to enhance it even more. So there you go. Out of a naval theme, I basically got another U-boat sub-in, and it was this one. It's the Type C47 Atlantic version. It does look an immensely impressive kit. Still quite a size for 1/144th, and it's going to be particularly interesting with the weathering on it. As you well know, I did a miniature 1/350th version of this, depicting the submarine which was used in the film Das Boot, which I think was the U-97. I've got other options on this one, and apparently Edward actually do an aftermarket set to enhance the detail on it even more, so I may well look that one up, but I'm going to ensure to get around to building this. And then finally, to go alongside it, and my modelling buddy Mk1 actually built this as well and did a fantastic seascape for it, is Revell's 1/144th Flower Class Corvette HMCS No. Now, Mike Booth has been building one of these as well, and even at 1/144th, it's still quite an impressive size. And again, if I do an enhanced detail set, and I think you can get some little miniature figures to go on this now as well. But yeah, as regards the weathering side, it's going to be interesting to do, especially with all the rust, etc., because these used to get beaten about and shaken about in the North Atlantic like you wouldn't believe. So there you go. And I think if you remember the film The Cruel Sea, one was depicted as HMS Compass Rose. So yeah, there you go. And that basically is it as regards my acquisitions over the last couple of months. As regards the Leopard, well, as I say, she's almost there, guys. And here she is. As you can see here, actually, if I get the camera down a bit more, you can see her a bit more. In fact, I'll bring her up. Move the light a little bit. Is it going to show it? Try and get it to do it. No, too much in shadow. Oh, this is a pain. Right, hang on. I don't think you're going to get any better than that. It's annoying. I did it the other night and it was fine. Oh, here we go. That's a bit better. Let's pull her in a bit more. Yeah, as you can see there, she's nearly at the end stage now. I've actually built up the men workable track links, as you can see there, and they sit absolutely beautifully on the vehicle. And they were actually a joy to build. I had a lot of fun with them, actually. I mean, basically, what you have to do, you've got the lower layer of the track, which you've got here. That goes on the actual jig itself, and then the next thing you do is put the guide horns in, and then finally put the actual track pads on these, which actually click in. Yeah, admittedly at first it was a little fiddly, but once it got into a rhythm, it was a lot of fun, and they sort of built very straightforwardly. So I would heartily recommend, if you want to have a go at some workable track links for the first time, get one of these. They really are very well made and very well engineered, and they are an absolute cinch to build together. Yeah, a little bit timely, but at the end of the day, you get a beautiful result, just like this. And they actually work and sag like the real thing. I mean, I've only actually primed these in UMP black primer at the moment, just to give it a sort of a base coat, but I will be weathering them up with some MIG pigments, you know, and then obviously putting a wash on it, and then obviously blending it in with the actual MIG mud that you've got on the actual dio base. But as I say, as you can see now, she's actually matte coated, and what I actually used, oh excuse me, was the Galeria Winsor & Newton matte varnish, and all I used was basically a little 50-50 mix of this with some ordinary tap water, and it just bedded down absolutely beautifully and matted absolutely exquisitely. Now obviously before I did that, as you can see here, I've basically used pastels just to give it the soot effect on the exhaust and obviously on the engine cover here as well, because they do get a bit sooty and grubby. And then once that was done, I basically used, if I can find it, Florey's Dark Dirt wash over that just to pop up the detail, and then went over the panels with the panel line accent finish from Tamiya, and I did the same on the figure as well. After that got matted down, it's actually shown up some of the creases and the shadows on his uniform very well, although you can't see it from here. But I mean, what I will do once this is completed is obviously do some snapshots, and then you can see for yourself. But I'm very happy with the way this is coming on. Anyway, after that was done, I basically turned to using some streaking grime to give it sort of dirt and rain effects. Use that first, and just basically used the Turpenoid with it just to basically brush it down with the streaking effects, as you can see here, to give it the subtle sort of weathered look, as it were. And then after that I went over with some MIG rain mark effects as well, which you can see obviously on the fenders here more commonly. I did do it on the turret as well, although you can't very well see it in the camera here. but it's on the mud guards and on the glacis as well, so it's come up beautifully. And then after that, I matte varnished it down, and then basically went on to the lower part of the hull, which you can see here. I don't know if you can see that in the light. Some trouble, I've got too much shadow, but basically if I can get it to go in the light, is it going to do it? Hang on. No, I've got too much shadow. I put some mud effects on the internal part of the actual hull using thick mud from Vallejo, and that's come up beautifully. And actually I'm going to have to take the track off on this because I haven't actually got it fitted on properly. And then on the back here, which you can see, I've got the subtle mud effects as though it's actually sort of splattered, as it were, especially on the edge of the mud guards here, although I will be mudding up a little bit more. But it's come up beautifully, it really has. And even on the front, if I can't get too much shadow now, you're not going to see it, guys, unfortunately. But all told, it's coming on a beaut. So actually, I'll take that marking off now. As you can see, I only had it dry fitted, but again, you can see the weathering effects on it. It's really come up lovely. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it so far. Now the only thing I've got to do, as I say, I've just got to muddy up the wheels a little bit. I'll probably use a wash on the actual tracks, and then I'm going to fit the tracks on, and then obviously put the side skirts on, and then probably just put some splattering mud effects on it along the lower part hull again, and then that'll be it, job done. Obviously I'll blend it in with the MIG mud, which I've got at the bottom here, which I used on the base, which is this, and I can heartily recommend it. As I said in my last video, I'll blend that in on the tracks, and then it'll should be a case of gluing that to the base, and it'll be job done, and then I'll get the final reveal vid out. So there you go, we're nearly at the end stages of this project. So basically, guys, that's where I am at the moment. So I think this video's gone for about what, just over 22 minutes. So I'm going to finish here so I don't bore you to death. But as usual, keep up all your good builds up there. Unfortunately, I've not been keeping up as I normally do because obviously with life, etc., that's got in the way. And obviously I've got to think first off of my accommodation issue, which will be coming up in a few months. So if you don't see a lot of videos, that's the reason why. But as and when I get this done, I will do a final reveal vid. So there you go. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. So until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I will speak to you soon.